Do you ever think we play too many games?
No.
Sometimes I worry that we don't appreciate what life has to offer. I mean, listen to the birds tweeting. I mean, actually tweeting. They're not on Twitter, they're tweeting. The smell of freshly cut grass. The gentle kiss of the wind on your cheeks. Your top cheeks. The sun beginning to set on another day full of missed opportunities. Don't you feel like there might be something more to this world than just playing games?
Filthy chum punter. With spear! Ah! Taste my ice. Oh!
Ah, who am I kidding? I'm gonna shoot someone in the face. Ooh.
Kapow!
It's Friday!
And GameTank is here with another packed Friday show.
Stay here for reviews of the new Resi, Ridge Racer and Silent Hill games.
We'll be taking a first look at Assassin's Creed 3.
Plus all the usual sketches and silliness that you probably love.
Shabanaki!
Things couldn't be much worse in the town of Silent Hill. All sorts of strange, creepy and disturbing events have plagued the residents of this sleepy place for much of the last 15 years. And this time it's much, much worse. This time, it's raining too.
Silent Hill Downpour begins as all survival horror games should, with stabbing a fat man in a shower. Murphy Pendleton is doing the stabbing, that's you, and this sequence turns out to be a dream that kicks off the backstory. Murphy's in prison, you see, but we don't know why yet. What we do know is that he's being transferred to a new prison. The story really kicks in when the bus transporting him crashes off the road and lands him in, have you guessed it yet? Silent Hill! Here we go!
We quickly realise that Murphy's got something dark in his past. But what did he do? The female cop that tries to stop him escaping seems to think he's the worst human alive. Oh well, maybe she'll trust him and forgive him if he helps her off this cliff. Oh, she's fallen.
So, you're on your own then. Being a Silent Hill game, it's not long before the cat hits the pram. That's right, isn't it? That's the saying?
Yeah, why not?
A seemingly small-scale kitchen fire soon becomes a massive black hole-faced, sucky, floaty monster thing chasing you through confusing corridors, up a never-ending staircase, and generally freaking you out. This first otherworldly sequence happens very early in the game and really serves to deepen the creepiness of the real-world locations when you return there. Nothing's quite the same from this point on, and it leaves you never quite sure when it will come looking for you again.
As you push on, things get more and more sinister. The game is always keeping you on edge. There are a few jumpy moments too, but stalwarts of the series might be a little disappointed with how truly frightening it is. There's a lot to keep you on your toes though. Just after you ride the cable car into the Devil's Pit, you'll catch a glimpse of Mr. Creepy Wheelchair Face Man here. You just know you're going to end up fighting him. Still, as long as I don't drop my torch and gun off this bridge. Oh, I have!
The game offers a good mix of exploration, combat and puzzles. If you're not a big fan of puzzles slowing down your game, then you can select their difficulty separately to that of the main game. As usual. They shouldn't slow you down too much though. Generally, you only need to look for a key, or a switch, or some other item hidden nearby. Don't you, Dan?
Yeah.
Unless, Dan, you're a bit stuck. So you come up with another wacky solution as a way of progressing?
Don't know what you're talking about.
So you didn't think the answer to opening one of the locked gates was to throw a rake at it?
No. Okay, yes. I really thought it'd work too. Combat-wise, the creepy bad guys come in a few flavours, such as scratchy, screamy witch girls, hairy Wolverine men and shat-your-pants monster dudes. There are weapons strewn about everywhere, from wooden planks and wrenches to pickaxes and the odd gun. Weapons break though, and ammo is scarce, so swap out your melee as often as you can and save that ammo for when you really need it. Combat can be a little frustrating and takes a bit of getting used to, but it doesn't stop the game being enjoyable. As you work your way through the clues of the story, there are some great set-piece moments too, such as the train you take at the end of the mine to get into Silent Hill itself.
In all honesty, it takes a while for the story to really get going, and not everyone will enjoy the slow pacing, but it is definitely worth pushing on to the better bits. And it's not a game you'll look back on and regret playing. It looks fantastic too, and there's enough intrigue and suspense to keep you coming back until you finish it.
Silent Hill Downpour is probably not quite what you were expecting, but it's a journey well worth taking all the same. And you kinda need to know what happened to Murphy in his past, so go play it.
Hey Dan, I was thinking, technically aren't all hills silent?
Oh, not this again.
You see you around, Murphy. No! Just wait a second.
Shut the hell up!
Just point the way out of town, and I'll keep right on going.
You don't think Dan was right, do you? Do you think we play too many games?
Nah, he's just having one of his flaps.
No, I just worry sometimes, I just can't help but think about games all the time. New games, great games, old games, shat games. I hope it's not becoming a problem.
Nah, seriously. We're playing noughts and crosses right now, and everything's fine.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Haha! I win!
How did this even happen? We did this by accident. I think we got a problem.
Yeah, we ran out of beer.
Who's...
We've always been hugely divided about these games here at GTHQ, but there's absolutely no denying it. The gaming public will absolutely lap up Assassin's Creed 3. Whoa! Sorry, got stuck in an ass loop there.
The game is set between 1753 and 1783 in colonial America. You'll be playing as Connor Kenway, a half-English, half-Mohawk young man who is drawn into battle after his homelands are invaded by the colonials. On your journey, you'll get to meet historical US figures such as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Presidential! It's also likely to be the game that draws modern-day character Desmond Miles' story to an end.
Ubisoft have said this is the most ambitious title in their history, with a team twice as big as any of their previous games. The whole game is running on a new engine called Anvil Next, designed by Ubisoft to make this title look next-gen on the current consoles. We'll have to wait till the game lands on October the 31st before we know if they've hit the mark. Until then, you'll have to do with this bloody trailer.
Steady on, mate.
No, literally, it's very bloody.
Oh, Assassin's Creed ridiculous.
Shatter brick! We're dealing with a rather severe case of deja vu here at GameTank Towers. Ridge Racer Unbounded is here, but for a moment we could swear we were playing 2010 Split Second Velocity. Fans of that game will be delighted as the studio closed soon after the release of Split Second, and Ridge Racer Unbounded comes pretty close to being a sequel to it. In fact, this doesn't look, sound, feel or play like a normal Ridge Racer game.
It's great!
It is, isn't it?
We are the Unbounded.
So what's going on here? Well, the story is weaker than an old lady after an hour at the gym.
I'm so tired.
But you're basically playing as a member of the Unbounded, a group of racers quite keen on destroying the metropolis they inhabit by driving through it. Literally, through it.
Told you it was weak, but ignore all that because the gameplay is largely solid as a rock. As you're driving around the various tracks laid out across the regions of Shatter Bay,
Oh, I still can't believe they called it that.
you'll be using the classic Ridge power slide to build up boosts. They come in handy too in getting you out of tight corners, for boosting you to the back of other cars, for pushing your nose over the finish line, and also, as you approach certain parts of the track, for triggering shortcuts to give you the unfair advantage. You can drive through the tankers, stadiums, town halls, and you can even drive through a donut shop.
Donut? Try this at home.
Whoa, that actually made me shiver.
This simple boosting gameplay device is worked into several different modes as you play. Domination is the simple work your way through the field first past the post-race. Shindo races add an extra element of bonus boosts and encouraging dirty play. Hitting other cars in the right way frags them, so you'll have to play dirty to win. Time attack, understandably, gives you maximum times in which to complete the level and throws in the odd clock freezing bonus to boot. Drift attack is all about scoring drift points in an empty track, and frag attack is awesome fun. Frag the required number of opponents before the clock hits 0, normally in a massive truck, with loads of boosts. Yes! There are loads and loads of races to unlock too, so make sure you keep plugging away at it.
Unbounded is not a forgiving game. One little mistake in a race will often send you from first place to last, and getting to the front of the pack again is normally thankless if you're in the later stages in each race. So not an easy game, but one you can really spend some time with and master. It can be frustrating, yes, but not always in a bad way. Getting to know each race and the course layout is a must. Memorising where the shortcuts are and where to power slide and save your boost is all part of the experience. Don't give up, and you'll soon find yourself flying across the finish line first, even if most of them are photo finishes. The important thing here is that when you do win a race, it's a proper game and adrenaline rush. We're even prepared to admit there may have been high fives.
Yeah, maybe. So, as you master the game and start winning, you'll earn good old XP. This unlocks new tracks, faster cars, and level tiles for the track builder. When you've dominated all the races in each region, you'll be able to progress through the ranks and beat the game. And when you have, it's still not over. Head over to multiplayer and you have the tools to create your own tracks and regions and share them with other players around the globe. It's very intuitive to use too. We managed to throw a track together in just a few moments using the tiles we'd unlocked in the single player. We even managed to put this awesome ramp here so we could jump over the bridge and oh, there's a train. If you're not much of a builder, head worldwide and race other players' tracks. Endless fun.
With its minimal HUD, stylish graphics, Skrillex-infused soundtrack and the potential of endless tracks, we must admit we're pleasantly surprised by Ridge Racer Unbounded for many reasons. It's not really a traditional Ridge Racer game. For one thing, when you start, you don't get this.
Ridge Racer!
But if you enjoy a challenge like learning a game and getting to grips with beating it, then it's almost impossible not to enjoy, unless you're shattered it.
Shatter Bay.
You know you got that upside down, right?
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. You're reading Edge magazine upside down.
Ah, I see. Well, to someone like you, Brendan, a standard gamer, it appears to be upside down. But to me, a highly intelligent, industry-loving intellect, this makes perfect sense. You see, reading Edge magazine upside down is the only way to get all the really juicy secrets out of it. The real news, what's really happening in the dev studios, and what people really think of Peter Moore and his crappy tattoos.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Wow. I guess I must be just a standard gamer then.
That you are, Brendan. That you are.
Hi, I'm Joss and this is News Bang. EA are releasing a football game. Yes, we're in a Euro Championship year and April 24th will see EA release the official companion game. Oddly though, it's not a standalone title, but essentially a DLC pack for FIFA 12. Basically, if you don't have FIFA 12, you can't play this. Anyway, all 53 UEFA member teams will be present, along with the 8 official stadiums.
Stadia.
Being used for the tournament. You'll also be able to create your own custom teams and take your whole game online for some serious worldwide multiplayer. If you're a fan of FIFA 12 and the way it plays, you'll most likely be very pleased with this too. Or, you could just watch the championship itself starting June the 8th.
8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8th. 8
Prototype 2's been in the oven for ages now at Gas Mart 6, and it's a fan-assisted oven, so it should nearly be ready.
I don't get the cooking metaphor.
I think he's hungry.
Sergeant James Hiller is having a great week as Activision have just announced that he'll be able to hijack transport helicopters and gunships as he makes his way through the game. They're loaded to the teeth with weapons and should make cutting enemies down as smooth as spreading fresh butter over lovely warm toast.
Wow, you really are hungry.
You'll be able to pull the pilots out of the choppers too, making your hijack all the easier. As you can see here, you'll also be able to grab a tank and cause absolute mayhem. Everything's looking good, the game is due out April 27th, and we'll have more when we get it.
And finally, Connect Star Wars at last was released this week.
Woo! Yay!
Yeah.
Great.
The game is late and hasn't had the most glowing of reviews. In fact, at the time of recording, it scored only 58 out of 100 on Metacritic, with a user score of 3.0 out of 10. Unresponsive controls, lack of depth and how short the game is seem to be the major recurring issues. We're always happy to hear counter-arguments though, so let us know if you love it or hate it in the comments.
I am the controller.
New game.
Our Lord, who art in heaven, please help me get these stickers off my game.
Yeah, so Resident Evil, Mila Jovovich had an amazing pair of Bristols.
I agree. Dan?
I just wanted my game box to be sticker free. Why? Why so many?
Don't worry, we understand your pain. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yes, please.
Resident Evil.
Resi fans, rejoice! We have a stopgap until Resi 6 in November. Okay, so this isn't anything like a full-fat Resident Evil game as we know it, but it screams of the film style with its dirty electronic music and hyper-modern visual design. And it puts you in an action romp through some very memorable locations from the Resi universe. Following the timeline of Resident Evil 2 from 1998, you play as part of an Umbrella task force sent into Raccoon City to recover the G-Virus and destroy all evidence of Umbrella's involvement.
Failure is not an option.
Like some sort of hardcore cleaning team.
Yeah, why not? Your first task hooks you up with legendary merc Hunk as he leads you to Birkin's office to recreate a poignant moment from a different perspective.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to get on the PS Store and download Resi 2 now!
You guys must be the new Delta team.
After retrieving the sample, Birkin, now on a roid rage, chases you through the bowels of the facility. It's a brilliant and well thought out section with tense moments where you have to hold off Birkin until the door opens. You end up running down a long corridor, spinning around occasionally to pop a few rounds off at the approaching beast. Your team is made up of 6 different characters that each have their own upgradable skills and attributes. Vector is a recon expert and has the option of using a very cool stealth cloak that renders you invisible for the duration of your ability bar.
Identify yourself!
Don't take another step.
He can also mimic an enemy for a short time to infiltrate Spec Ops characters and confuse them. There are other upgrades for him too, like reducing his detection rating while he's running. These attributes are unlocked by earning XP, and you do that by killing lots of deadheads. And also by collecting hidden data, but I'll get to that later. I made a rhyme.
Items are picked up and stored for use on your D-pad. Selecting grenade types, using a first aid spray or using a virus antidote spray is all done here. You can only carry one of each spray at a time, and you should make sure you have them handy, as one zombie bite can infect you. Once infected, you will deteriorate until your health bar empties. Then you'll lose control of your character and start to attack your teammates. There are 3 types of grenade, including your standard frag, stun and incendiary grenades, with each doing what you'd expect them to do. And they really do come in handy for dispatching large groups of shambling zomboids.
The weapons are a mixed bag of assault rifles, SMGs, light and heavy machine guns, sniper rifles, well, there's loads. There's even a nice selection of sidearms, one of which being the legendary Samurai Edge. The best thing about having a sidearm is it can save your life when it comes to crunch time. Things can get hectic pretty quickly once you run out of ammo for your main weapon. Holding the LB/L1 button will cause your character to draw his or her handgun instantly and lock onto immediate threats. You can then use the right stick to shoot in any direction automatically. How awesome! Of course, if enemies get too close, you can also dispatch them with some impressive punchy knifey skills.
Melee?
No, punchy knifey skills. You can perform instant executions after staggering a zombie with a melee blow, and each character also has a brutal kill that is unique to them and are very satisfying to see. There are more handy moves to learn too. While sprinting, you can dive to safety from incoming gunfire or grenades. Pressing the B or circle button while sprinting performs a shoulder barge, which is handy for getting out of a tight squeeze. Spec Ops and zombies at the same time? Well, why not grab a zombie and use them as a flesh shield? This will give you limited protection from a few frontal attacks.
Now, back to that data collecting mentioned earlier. Dotted around the game world are small data packets that you can search for. Once found, and if you gather up a few, you can take them to in-game laptops which allow you to upload the collected data to Umbrella Command. This gives you XP and also unlocks concept art in the gallery.
There are 7 missions in the game's main campaign, leading you through some brilliant classic locations from Raccoon City. You can play this on your own or with 3 friends in an online co-op. Now here's where I have to give the game a few down points. The computer AI is insanely stupid.
Let's go up here. No, wait! Oh, what? Oh, not you as well. Oh well, we should just... Why are you stood in the fire? Get out of the fire!
To the point where they'll walk into fire and burn to death. They'll happily stroll through laser trip mines and die. They won't shoot at priority targets, and they will not revive you if you die. So as you can imagine, a lot of your time will be spent dealing with a horde of enemies that would be comfortable for 4 human players, but becomes very difficult on your own. Also, I have tried many times to get into an online game with other people, but to no avail. People simply don't seem to be playing this at all. So unless you have 3 mates that have all got the game and have the time to play it, then expect to journey through this on your own. But it won't be easy. One huge tip here though, snap into 1994 mode and read the manual before you set off. There are tips aplenty that will make your journey easier that the game itself just doesn't teach you. With that said, I really enjoyed the experience and I am currently on my 3rd playthrough. It's not a AAA title, but it's definitely not bad. With an update to fix the AI, this could be a great one-player experience. It's a shame getting into an online co-op is so fruitless, but don't let that put you off grabbing it from the bargain bin, or at the very least renting it. It's a laugh, and shooting zombies is always fun.
Resident Evil.
Oh, I hope this show never ends.
Oh, it has.